Cruising.
Richard, if you could read the roll and then take roll call and then introduce the item.
Okay, this is the roll call for the CIP meeting at 7 p.m., May 26th. Councilor Lane would be absent at the present moment. Councilor McCauley?
Here.
Councilor Connell is absent. Did we check the attendees list? Maybe. Councilor Shan?
Present. Present.
Councilor Tantar?
Present.
Wonderful. Councilor Vogel?
Present.
Councilor Wallace?
Here.
Wonderful. Councilor Zeed?
Here.
Thank you. Councilor Devlin? Absent at present. Councilor Khan?
Present.
Councilor Eigenman is present. So we have 3 absent at the present moment. We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Okay, so the purpose of the 7 o'clock session here is the required public hearing. There was publication in at least one local newspaper stating the date and time. So I want to start with any members of the public. I see there's staff in attendance as well, but I want to give the public a chance. It is a public hearing, so if any members of the public wish to speak, please raise your hand. There's one. Please give your name and address for the record. You're muted. I think you're on now.
Jane Snow, 9 Coffin Street.
Thank you. Continue.
I listened at the budget hearing and to the discussion, and I have several concerns. I realize the riverfront critical gap needs to be attended to, but I think we really need to have a clear understanding as to what's going to happen as it moves forward. I'm concerned about the youth service project only because if you read what the governor is putting out, they're going to limit gatherings of only 10 for quite a long time. And I'm wondering if we couldn't possibly do a really good search of our current buildings and find a place for them, even if it means down the road adding on to that particular building to have them expand as things go back to normal. And the same thing with the park office. I think it needs to be a central location. I understand that the current by Colby Farm was a concern because of the water and things, but maybe that needs to be built there for just for storage and actually have them in a different space, because we did find space for emergency management. So maybe if we really rolled up our sleeves, we could do that. So I appreciate all the efforts that the committees have been putting into this and look forward to hearing the discussions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public?
I'm sorry, for the record, Mr. President, I just wanted to note that Councilors Devlin and Lane have joined.
Okay, thank you. Any other members of the public who wish to speak? Not seeing any. Well, I want to use the time profitably. So are there staff members who wanted to speak? Of course, we're going to take up the item later tonight. The charter requires us to act no later than June 1st. We're not going to meet again on a regular schedule, so we'll be taking it out tonight. Any staff members wish to speak? Yes, Mark Kavanaugh, please identify your department. Go ahead.
Hi, Councilors. Mark Kavanaugh, IT Director. I really just want to kind of make a few comments about trying to support my bid for funding for basically upgrading from Windows 7 to Windows 10 and with the server software as well. It's we're really, now we're at a point where we're really depending heavily on technology and to try and get us up to speed and up to the latest revs and secured and all the future software that's coming in that's Windows 10 compliant and not necessarily Windows 7 ready. I just hope that you would consider that's a big issue for IT in the city relative to people trying to do all kinds of telecommuting and what have you, all the various different software suites that we have. So I really just wanted to bring your attention to that and see if there's some way you could manage to incorporate that into CIP.
Thank you. Any questions before I go to Lisa Reed? Well, we have them. Any questions for Mark Kavanaugh from counselors? Well, I have one. In the CIP, the item talks about not just upgrading Windows, but also buying new PCs.
Correct.
So I don't know if you're going to be available at our meeting tonight, but if you could break that out for us, that might be helpful.
Sure. I have it. I have the whole sheet here in front of me and well prepared to discuss it. I mean, suffice to say, we're really this CIP year we're attempting to do, from the physical aspect of replacing machines, we're attempting to do 50%, and then the following year another 50%, and then the remainder of machines that we have, we are totally going to try and upgrade with existing hardware. It's just the really old machines are the ones that we got to get out of there because they won't run 64-bit applications with the 32-bit platforms on the actual hardware. So yeah, but no problem.
All right, so you'll be available tonight.
Sure will.
Okay, great. Director Reed.
Okay. Hi. I'm just here to answer any questions anyone might have. So I didn't have a statement to make. That's all.
Okay. Well, we haven't had any other members of the public step forward who want to speak. Again, I want to use the time profitably. So if people have questions, I'm looking, not seeing. I think we could probably close the hearing then. Mr. Clerk, any objection to that?
None whatsoever, Mr. President.
Okay, then I think I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 Any opposed? That's unanimous. Okay, so it's the same call-in number. I'm going to stop the recording and start it again at 7:30, but you don't need to hang up. Thank you.
Thank you. Perfect.